Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the channel. I'm so glad to hear that you're thinking about coming to Vancouver as one of your travel destinations, and I really hope that this video will be able to help you in some way to at least prepare you or at least give you a heads up on what you're going to be expecting when you're coming out of the YVR airport. Now, I would say that Vancouver airport is pretty organized more than anything, but depending on the day and depending on how you're feeling and how long of a flight you were just on, it can seem a little bit hectic. So I'm hoping that this can help you in some way. So you got through customs and you made it out of the international exit okay. Now what, right? You're probably tired as hell and you probably had a very long flight. So you probably could use a cup of coffee or two, and luckily for you, on the same floor there's going to be a Tim Hortons waiting for you. Okay, so you got your coffee, and let's say you don't want to stay at the airport any longer and you want to get out into the city. Well, you have a couple of choices in terms of your transportation. First, you can rent a car. Right. This is going to be the most comfortable for you, especially if you're going to be staying in Vancouver for a little while, or if you're even visiting places like Victoria or Bowen Island or somewhere that kind of requires you to take a car. That's going to be your most preferable choice. That being said, obviously, this is going to be one of your most expensive options. Second, you can also use your rideshare systems like your taxis, your Ubers, and your Lyfts, right? These are going to be very convenient because you can just pretty much book them. Now, before you do that, I recommend you at least try inputting your destination and where you actually want to go on the apps, whether it be an Uber app or a Lyft app, to kind of get a calculation as to how much you're actually looking at paying. You probably just want to see and give yourself an estimate to see how much you're actually looking to pay. Now, the third option is, of course, your public transit systems, right? These include your buses, your SkyTrains, and to be honest with you, our SkyTrain system is actually not too bad, or our public system as a whole in general is not too bad. It could definitely be better, don't get me wrong, but in my opinion, it's actually not terrible. Because we're talking about getting out of the airport, I would highly suggest you take the SkyTrain over the bus. Theoretically, the SkyTrain is going to get you to your destination much faster than a bus, right? But then again, you also want to plan accordingly, right? Type in your hostel or your hotel destination simply into the Google Maps to see how long it will actually take and which method is actually going to get you there faster. Okay, so let's go back to the topic of SkyTrain. You probably would have noticed by now that I keep saying SkyTrain when I'm referring to our trains, and it's just because I came back from Korea not too long ago and they utilize a train system where it's a subway station, so it's all underground. But for us, our tracks actually are elevated and it's above the cars, above the pedestrians. So that's going to be a little bit interesting for you to see, especially when you see it for the first time. Okay, so this is basically our SkyTrain ticketing booth. It's fairly simple to use. It takes all the major credit cards as well as debit. So when you first start, you'll probably want to just purchase a new Compass card because this will give you access to ride on SkyTrains as well as buses. Once you get this new Compass card, which is around $6, you're going to be able to load that card with funds that are necessary for you to just get around on buses and SkyTrains. Now, there are different language options if you need extra help, or you could just purchase single tickets if you want to. Now here, you could basically just tap the new card that you have bought on that C mark, and then you can go through the transaction. really rare, but really nice day in Vancouver. Sunny weather in Vancouver is, I would say, pretty rare. Albeit right now it's April, and April showers is a thing. It's all good. So right now we're heading towards the outlet, which is only 2 SkyTrain stations away. SkyTrain station stops away, and we're gonna basically go out and check out the outlet to see what you can do after you get off at the airport. If you want to just go look around there and shop or something. So Vancouver was recently blessed with this really rare, wonderful sunny weather. And because of that, I knew that I had to go out here and film this MacArthur Glen outlet mall because it is an outdoor mall, and I didn't really feel like getting soaked. So when you go here, I should warn you that you should probably go a little bit earlier in the morning or just avoid weekends in general, because this outlet mall does tend to get overcrowded. And just right now, as I'm filming this, I went out really early in the morning, actually just when the outlet was opening, and there was still already people going, and the parking lot was actually getting a little bit full. So I just want to point out that the food and drink options at this outlet is fairly limited in my opinion. For drinks, you're going to have that big cafe in the center of the outlet, as well as a Starbucks. But for food, you're going to have things like either A&W or Japadog or ramen or something along the lines of that. So I would highly encourage that if you want to make sure that you're not going to be hungry, you should probably eat either prior or maybe just after the outlet. Now, I'm not sure how many of you will actually be driving your way down to the outlet, but it does have a family-friendly parking section as well as your classic EV charging section as well. I hope you guys enjoyed that short video. I'm going to try to make the uploads on YouTube a bit more consistent, so if you guys have any suggestions on what type of content that you would like to see, please let me know, and I hope to see you again on this channel very soon. Peace.